The little boy unexpectedly discovered that the elegant ladies in front of him were actually a group of scary witches in private. Not only were their heads bald, but they also had only 3 fingers and 1 toe. Xiao He, who was hiding under the podium, was stunned by this scene. Expected that the purpose of the witches gathering together was to plot to kill all the children in the world. It turned out that the witch leader had developed a bottle of mysterious potion that only required 3 drops to turn people into mice. Hearing such an outstanding invention, the little witches in the audience collectively raised 3 fingers and cheered continuously, but at this moment, the witch leader seemed to smell the scent of a child. He was seen squatting in front of the podium, sniffing carefully with his nose, but when he opened the podium, he did not see the little boy. It turned out that Xiao He had hidden in the ventilation duct in advance. Just as the witch was about to go up to check, there was a knock on the door. When Xiao Pang came in, all the witches disguised themselves instantly. At this time, Xiao Pang was completely unaware of the impending danger. The witch leader immediately took out a piece of golden chocolate to attract his attention. The greedy Xiao Pang could not resist the temptation. He just took a bite, and his body suddenly twitched violently, and then purple smoke came out of his ears and nasal cavity. Xiao Pang just disappeared out of thin air. Then, a fat little mouse came out of the clothes, and the witches rushed to step on it. Xiaopong. At this critical moment, Xiao He's pet white mouse suddenly rushed out of the ventilation duct. It quickly came to Xiaopong, rescued it from the witch's feet, and then retreated all the way back into the duct. Although it saved Xiaopong, it also exposed the boy's position. Xiao He was pinned to the ground by a group of witches. Then the witch leader brought rat poison and dripped water into his ears 3 times. The next second, Xiao He's body also showed the same condition. Xiao He, who turned into a brown rat, wanted to escape, but the witch held his tail. When Xiao He was about to be smashed into a meat pie, the white rat rushed over again and bit his finger when the witch was not paying attention. The 3 rats escaped into the narrow pipe, but the crisis was not over. The witch leader's hands could be extended. They were so scared that they ran forward desperately, but the fan in front blocked their way. At the critical moment, Xiao Pang used his weight to accidentally open the passage below. Although they escaped the witch's capture, they were now small mice. How could they turn back into humans? At this time, Xiao He thought of his grandmother because he knew something about witches and might have a way. So they carefully passed through the kitchen along the ventilation duct, and took the elevator when no one was paying attention, and finally arrived at the floor where the grandmother was. But at this moment, the hotel cleaner discovered them. He was so scared that he picked up a broom and chased after them, wanting to kill the 3 mice. At the critical moment, the grandmother heard the noise and opened the door, which allowed them to escape. He didn't dare. I believe that the grandson who just went out to play turned into a mouse when he came back. After learning that it was the witch's potion that caused the trouble, the grandmother said that there might be a way to turn them back into humans, but the prerequisite is to get the witch's mouse-turning potion. Xiao He decided to steal a bottle, and the witch leader happened to live downstairs. At this time, he was still unaware and was fiddling with the potion there, intending to continue looking for the next target. In order to steal the potion without anyone noticing, the grandmother put Xiao He in a sock, and then put him downstairs like a high-altitude operation. Xiao He quietly slipped into the room, and after finding that the witch was not there, he successfully got a bottle of mouse-turning potion. But just when he was about to leave, the witch suddenly came back. Xiao He hurriedly hid under the corner of the coffee table. After a period of vision, he rushed out to the balcony with the potion in his arms, and then got into the socks in one go. Just when he was about to return successfully, the witch suddenly appeared and grabbed the rising socks. Grandma lied calmly that she accidentally dropped the socks when she was knitting them, and she was about to pull them up, but the witch saw through her lie at a glance. She was about to take off the socks when there was a knock on the door. It turned out that the lobby manager came to provide lunch, which saved Xiao He from danger. After getting the mouse-changing potion, the grandmother immediately began to debug the antidote, but after trying for a long time, she failed in the end. Even the grandmother's ancestral remedy could not fight against the witch's evil magic. The 3 mice were very disappointed when they saw this scene, but they soon accepted the reality. Since they could not change back, humans could not sit idly by and watch the witch continue to harm other children. So Xiao He came up with a trick. As long as he secretly put the bottle of mouse-changing potion into the food that the witches eat, he might be able to catch them all in one fell swoop. Are you showing this man? This sounds like it could be a very dangerous and scary mission. I can hand it. So the grandmother put Xiao He into the ventilation duct. He followed the duct all the way to the kitchen and found the mung bean soup that the witches were going to drink for dinner. This was the news that the grandmother had inquired about, but there were chefs everywhere. How could he successfully put the potion in? Xiao He planned to throw objects from a high altitude. He first threw the mouth of the bottle down. Seeing that it was still a little short of the target, Xiao He stared at the soup spoon beside him. He positioned the spoon, then put the medicine bottle on it, and finally raised the head of the spoon, ready to slide the medicine bottle into the soup pot. But at this moment, a chef came over to try the taste of the mung bean soup. Seeing this, Xiao He quickly stopped what he was doing. He was about to be discovered, but fortunately, the cooking utensils caught fire, instantly attracting everyone's attention. Xiao He took this opportunity to throw a whole bottle of mouse-changing potion into the pot. Grandma brought 3 little mice to the restaurant to watch this good show. Not long after, the mung bean soup was served by the waiter, and the witches drank it one by one as expected. But when the witch leader was about to drink it, she noticed the grandmother in the corner. She suddenly came over. After close observation, the witch leader finally recognized that the grandmother was the little girl who survived that year. It turns out that when my grandmother was a child, her best friend could not resist the temptation and ate the candy given by the witch leader. The next day, her body underwent strange changes. Under the eyes of my grandmother, my best friend turned into a big rooster, and her family was still unaware of the truth. The family, who did not know the truth, locked her in a poultry cage. My grandmother knew the truth, but she was powerless, which became a shadow of her childhood. People say it, they were delicious. When the witch leader wanted to persecute the grandmother, the other witches flew up. It turned out that the drug took effect and the witches all turned into ugly mice. This scene scared the other customers. The hotel waiters came out collectively, holding brooms and slapping. Taking advantage of the chaos, the grandmother quietly left and went straight to the witch leader's room. She planned to steal all the potions to destroy them. However, the witch came back at this time. Seeing the grandmother in front of her, the witch stretched out her hands and stopped the action when she was about to cast a spell. It turned out that 3 little mice had clamped her only toe with a mousetrap. The witch opened her mouth in pain. The witch screamed, and Xiao Hei saw the right moment and jumped up from the mousetrap, throwing the mouse-changing potion in his hand into the witch's mouth. The witch's body twitched violently, and the next second she turned into a big and ugly mouse. She wanted to struggle desperately, but her grandmother easily locked her in a glass bottle. The final ending was very satisfying, and she was eaten by the black panther she raised. At the end of the story, although the 3 little mice could not turn back into humans, they had each other's company and were not lonely.